guys believe that that stuff was made in the early 90s? I mean, the first time I heard that, I thought it was like modern trap. I know that there's some obvious differences in sound quality and stuff, but the pioneering, man, the pioneering. That type of sound came from Memphis, which if you didn't know is a city in the state of Tennessee, and a famous one at that. And by this point, you guys know me. On this channel, I like to talk a lot about different ways that you can increase your creative output. And one thing that kind of continually crops up is that when we impose limitations on ourselves in a creative context, we find creative ways of breaking out of those limitations. But in the past, these limitations weren't exactly self-imposed, they were actually just technologically imposed, right? Now, a lot of these beats were produced on a piece of gear called the DR660, which is a drum machine that came out in 1992. The thing is, this drum machine wasn't designed to be programming melodies, but producers figured out that you could take the drum sounds that came with the DR660 and pitch them up and down to make melodies anyway. And the cowbell was especially popular for this. That one's for you, Captain Piquant. So I went ahead and typed in free DR660 drum kit in Google, and I came across this one. And what we're gonna do is sort of wind back the clock a little bit and use only these sounds to make a little beat and have some fun in the process, and hopefully get something that's close to the sound of what was coming out in the early 90s in Memphis. As I said, a key part of this sound is pitching the drum sounds that come with the DR660 up and down. So I made a cowbell track here. We're gonna try to make a beat out of that. I've also got an 808 set up here. I also grabbed some of these little effect sounds and put them on a sampler. So we have some options about what we can do when we make the beat. Okay, so let's take this little cowbell sound and try to find a melody that we can build a beat around. Ooh, wait. That could work. So I'm gonna highlight everything I just did and quantize it to 100%. So next up, let's build a beat around this. I'm gonna open up and arm my DR660 drum rack here. All right, and of course we need to add the hi-hats too. And I'm just gonna keep this really, really simple so far. So I'm gonna do like 16th notes. Let's make a tiny little variation. I'm gonna highlight the last, first of all, let's crop the clip so we can get rid of the other BS at the end. But what I'm gonna do is I just wanna make a little variation here at the very end, and I want to double up the hats. And one cool thing that you can do in Ableton is you can highlight the last 4 notes like this. And you'll see 2 markers that pop up right here, and this allows you to kind of shrink or expand the rhythm of the notes that you selected. Like you can see they get smaller as I drag this way and bigger as I drag the other way. So I'm going to make these half as long and move them to the end here. Stylistically, one of the things that I noticed about that early sound though is that they've got a lot of like distortion happening on the whole track. So I put a little saturator on the master, and I just want to show you what's happening with that. Here's without. In. The other component that I noticed about this style too, of what was coming out, was that everything sounded really dark. So I'm going to just put a little low pass filter on the master at about 6K. It's like lo-fi trap or something. Okay, so now let's throw in a little grimy 808 sound. And once again, stylistically, these guys are laying the foundations for modern trap, so you'll hear a lot of the same 808 patterns that you do today. Something like that, possibly. It's kind of funny too, like you take this off and it's modern trap. Put it back on. Hell, all of a sudden it's early 90s. All right, let's work with some of these other tracks and try to add a little bit more detail here so we can spice it up a little. Ooh, we could add on the downbeat this little perk sound. there's also this other one that I thought would be cool to add at the end of the bar and just kind of zoom back in, right? Like. Too loud, obviously, right now, but. Could we add this bass on top? I think that's kind of hard. I'm gonna leave that in. Maybe even this slap bass. What does that remind you of? I'm using the slap bass all the way up here. And I thought it might be kind of cool to add that as like a rhythmic element that kind of hangs there, and something we can add as a variation, right? So here's the part where we just make a change up, right? Like take the 808 out. And then we bring it all back in. And there you have it. Now all we have to do is make a full beat tape like this. By the way, if you want to hear like a modern implementation of this style, check out A$AP Rocky's Babushka Boy. So give this a shot. Go download the DR660 sample pack and have some fun just making some simple beats, you know, just like they used to. We'll see you in the next In the Beat. Peace.